it is in the Mount. See? It's reverse order. And it's going into the minds of the people watching this movie, especially young, impressionable minds. It's going into their minds, saying the man is the weak one and the woman is the hero. That's the message. That's the subliminal cut. The young one, who just got out of school, and the female is the hero. She had to tell her father what to do. And she saved the lover. She and her mother, she wasn't a hero to her mother now. She was not a hero to her mother. Her mother was a mother to her, but not her father. She was the hero to her father. Subliminal cut. The woman is strong and the man is weak, even when the woman is the daughter and the man is the father. Brethren, I'm telling you the truth. And anyone with the spirit of honesty, you have to see that. The mother was a mother to her. The mother was a protector. The mother was wiser, but not her father. She had to teach her father. She had to watch out for her father. And she had to save her lover. I'm telling you, brethren, that's not the way it is on the Mount. And that's what I was thinking through that whole scene. It was like going over and over and over in my mind. That's not the way it is in the Mount. And then the movie stopped. Although I didn't intend to stop the movie, but it wouldn't surprise me if that stopped the movie. Because it's wrong. And it wouldn't be so bad if it was just one movie. But it's a spirit that's going through the whole culture. And especially in Hollywood and wherever these movies are being made today. It's a spirit that's corrupting God's order. And if you are a son of God, and you're watching a movie like that, without this understanding, it's corrupting Christ in you. Now, I watch a lot of movies that I probably shouldn't be watching, I try not to watch it. This movie I didn't even like. Mary, could you open the door for me, please? And I think we closed up the storm door, so just be careful, please. And primarily I didn't like it because it grieved my spirit. For 3/4 of the movie, it was slow moving. There was no joy on the faces. Is that open? Okay. No joy on the faces of the people. Deadpan. Depressing scenery, slum type scenery. Bloodletting. What is this with the bloodletting when they pick their faction? That's a subliminal cut too. What is this with the bloodletting? Huh? So let me see if there's anything else I can cheer you up with. Listen, I'm not telling you not to watch it. But you need to be educated. You need to see both sides. Because if you watch enough movies like that and you do not have the awareness that I'm giving you right now, it could affect the development of Christ in you. Depending on how strong you are, you can just move you out. Wait, brethren, our salvation and how we think are intimately related. And especially if you're a young person and you've picked up this spirit that the woman is, in general, is superior to the male. That spirit is, that opinion is fighting against the development of Christ in you. I'm just telling you the truth. See, in many cases, even in a lot of marriages, the woman's smarter than the man, emotionally stronger than the man. Her role is to shore him up, not to knock him down and put her foot on his chest and say, I'm stronger than you are. She's supposed to be shoring him up because God said in the family, the male is the hero. Well, that's not fair to women. Who said life is fair, brethren? We're under the curse. So is there anything else I can cheer you up with? Let me see what else I can say about that movie. And I really didn't like it. I guess that's pretty much it. And of course, no, there was a truth to the possibility of the army being cloned like that. I guess clone isn't the right word. What drones they made, whatever the right word. And of course the whole principle is, and this is what grabbed Brooke, the principle is true, we're dealing with that today. If you don't fit into a category, you don't belong anywhere. Well, brother, none of us here fit into a category. We are all divergent. But Christ is here. And he's doing something in us. You see, when she was in that difficult situation a couple of times, and she saw her reflection and said, "This is not real," that, I believe, was a subtle way of saying that she had an inner man, which would be Christ. See? But it didn't. I'm not sure what they really meant. And I don't know if you picked it up or not, but 2 times that face appeared to her and said, "This is not real," and saved her life. See? The 3rd time, it didn't speak to her. The 3rd time she was going to be killed, and she saw her reflection in the water, and then her mother came and rescued her. The 2 real heroes, although the mother didn't have a big role, the 2 major heroes were the mother and the daughter. See? But what do we teach about the Shekinah? The son wasn't there. You see? This was the ungodly Shekinah. The godly Shekinah has the son in there. This was the 2 women. So she looked in the water and she saw her reflection, and she was rescued. Well, what about the myth of Narcissus? He looked in the water and he saw his reflection, and he fell in. See? Fell in love with his reflection. That's what happened to Adam. He fell in love with his reflection and married the abyss rather than Jehovah. See? So there was a very subtle suggestion of an inner power. See, but there is an inner power that's not Christ. There is an inner man that's not Christ. Well, the martial artists will tell you that. They know there's an inner power, that when they access that inner power, they do supernatural feats. So there was a supernatural element, but it wasn't very, very pronounced. It was a very unspiritual movie. But this concept of an inner man to the uneducated mind could open into the inner man of the other side. Nothing edifying. Good against evil. That's what's in the movies today. And I would like to respond to it. I'm not picking on Brooke, but we just I happen to have had a conversation with her. And she made some good arguments. I just don't agree with her, but that's okay. She's certainly entitled to her opinion. And one of the things that she said to me is that when I said the movie was godless, she said, but you know that's the way they're making movies today, because what can you do? You're going to make them the heroines Christians. You're going to make them Muslims, or we're so multicultural that they can't do it today, so they do nothing. Well, I don't know whether that's true or not, but I've been watching a lot of TV because I've been in bed for a couple of days with this cold. And I just watched a movie called Peaky Blinders or something like that. A British series, 6 episodes. And they had religion in that. And the religion was a Roman Catholic father who was a liar and a deceiver and an abuser of his own children and a general crook, going around spouting religious sayings. So they do have religion in movies today, but they knock them. See? So my response to that is, well, if they put a godly aspect of religion in, nobody would go see it. Well, I don't really know about that. I mean, it doesn't have to be the main theme of the movie. But even if that's true, that no one would go see the movies if there was a godly aspect of Christ in the movies. Well then, so you don't make the movie, or you don't go to the movie. I think we can live without movies. that you have to understand that these movies are dangerous. That they're projecting subliminal cuts of ungodly concepts into your soul, into your mind. And I guess I'll finish up with what I've said previously to a couple of people. I've said it to a couple of people already. Great literature is fascinating. See, also another thing that Brooke said to me is that I think I was recommending other movies. She said, well, that's not the way it is anymore. Whatever the movies I was recommending, she said, it's not like, life isn't like that anymore. And my answer to that, that's a good point. She made a good point. My answer to that is, it's not a question of whether the video or the movie takes place in the 1500s or the 1600s or the 2000s or the 21st hundreds. What we're talking about is humanity, the human spirit, and sin, the fallen nature, human nature. It never changes. It doesn't change. That's why Shakespeare is great. And that's why great literature is great. It doesn't matter what the wallpaper is like or what century it takes place in. The heart of man and the problems that mankind has are the same from 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago to the future. Mankind has the same heart and the same problems. So we can watch a movie that, actually they could make a movie today about the future, about the past, and build true human nature in it and the godly solutions that it may not even be obvious to people that it's God, the godly solution, that the human spirit prevails. Now you might be able to say that about this movie Divergent, that the human spirit prevails. That would be one of the positive things I could say about it, that the human spirit prevailed and overcame being forced into this box, you know, and that the two divergents found each other. Of course, the young girl just out of school had to rescue the big muscular teacher there, you know, who was first in his class. But aside from that, the human spirit did rise, and you saw that the human spirit overcame the spirit of death, rose above the restrictions of the human spirit. But it didn't go far enough because, as somebody here said that, I don't know who said it, somebody said, maybe Jesse said it, that they did it all from within themselves. They did it by their own power, see? And the truth of the matter is that we do not overcome by our own power. Any overcoming anywhere comes from God. A faith in God, maybe it's not a faith in Christ. Maybe it's a pagan nation that knows that there's a force greater than they are. And it's the only force that they know. Like that movie Braveheart. That was a powerful scene with all those Scotsmen lined up in the minority, facing an army that had weapons in numbers way beyond them. But they had faith in their pagan God. See, you need to understand that God is beyond religion. He is beyond religion, and His spirit is righteous. So these Scotsmen that were fighting to defend their homeland, the only God that they knew was their pagan God. But their heart, brethren, their heart, their human spirit was fighting for their very lives and for the lives of the women and children in the town. And they believed that a God, that a force greater than them would deliver them. And I want to tell you that the God of the universe responded to that faith, even though they had the wrong name and the wrong image. If you can believe that.